Hey everyone, Couch Investor back to another Fiverr video for you today. So you must be thinking, Fiverr, if you've looked at the earnings report and then at the stock chart, you must be thinking, why is the stock down 20-25%? Doesn't make sense. Especially if you looked at the earnings report, the numbers were good, they were very good actually. The only downside of this earnings report, and maybe that's enough for you so you can click away from this video, is that they reduced guidance, they lowered guidance for next quarter and the full year. Now, if you have been paying attention for the last couple of quarters with Fiverr, you would know that last quarter actually they raised guidance. So right now they re-lowered guidance, which is actually a bit higher than their original guidance beside the adjusted EBITDA. But we're going to look at all of that in this video. I'm also going to explain why they actually lowered guidance and why this can actually be a good thing for us investors. A little hint, a bit of Elon's sandbagging can be found in this lowering of guidance. So if you're interested in hearing more about Fiverr's earnings report, just sit back and relax. For those of you that follow me on Twitter, maybe you joined the Twitter Spaces last night. We talked about Fiverr's earnings report as well. There are some funny stories. I will mention one in this video as well as a great example to why Fiverr is a very, very unique company. Now, before I do so, I just want to thank today's sponsor, The Motley Fool. And again, these are my views and my views only. The Motley Fool is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. You guys know I love finding new investing tools and resources to help me find the latest growth stock and innovative company. And right now I have a discount for one of my favorite services, the Fool offers. Through the Motley Fool's stock advisor service, you get access to a ton of expert stock picks. Every month you'll get 2 picks that are aimed at growing your wealth and to help you realize your financial goals. Stock advisors' average stock picks have returned over 500%. If growing your money is something you'd like to do more this year, you can visit www.fool.com/couchinvestor or click on the link below for access to my special offer and decide if Stock Advisor is right for you. Now let's dive into this. So these are the big highlights. We're going to the numbers in just a bit. So growth exceeded high end of guidance. Revenue grew 60% year over year. Fiverr business growth is actually something that I will touch on in a bit even more as we talk about this partnership with Salesforce and Wix and the launch of a new subscription plan that's called Seller Plus. Now for Fiverr business growth, in the 3 quarters since launch, yes, this is only 3 quarters old, Fiverr business now represents 5% of the core marketplace business, and it's growing faster than their overall marketplace. Why is this super impressive? Well, because Fiverr business actually is a bit like Upwork. Upwork works with a lot of enterprises. That's why you will see the spend per buyer there for Upwork much higher than those on Fiverr. And that's why this Fiverr business segment is very, very important. And it's very impressive to see that it's actually already 5% of the total revenue of those marketplaces. Why is that so important? Well, because usually when you go to the business side of things, the gigs there cost more than just your usual gig for a logo that costs just $5. Now for the rest of those points here, we're going to talk in a bit. So key numbers here. Revenue is up 60% to $75.3 million. Yes, these numbers are still very small. I said this in previous videos as well. But I shall remind you that 1 year ago, Q2, it was already, let's say, peak pandemic. So to grow that revenue again by 60% is pretty impressive. Active buyers are up to 4 million, up 43% year over year. Spend per buyer keeps increasing 23% year over year to $226. You can expect this number to increase every single quarter. Now, what's more impressive is the take rate of 27.8%, which is, I believe, double that of Upwork. I think it's one of the highest there in this sector. For gross margins, we have exceptional ones. 83.4% for GAAP, 84.4% for non-GAAP. Now, GAAP net loss is in the negative $13.3 million, and adjusted EBITDA is actually positive, higher than expected, $7.4 million. Now, going into their financial outlook for Q3 and for the full year 2021. So for the full year 2021, obviously, this has been reduced from their prior guidance, which was raised from the guidance before that, so in Q4. But for Q3, they still expect between 30 and 38% growth year over year. Adjusted EBITDA a bit lower than the previous one, between $2.5 and $3.5 million. Now for the full year, they say here it's going to be between 280 and 288, so midpoint of $285 million, where you can expect a 50% year-over-year growth. All right, now going into the couple of important segments here. So first up, remember the spend per buyer that kept increasing. So it was at 226 for this quarter. Now what's very interesting here is that high value players, those with annual spend per buyer over $500, continued to grow from the previous quarter and now represent over 61% of the core marketplace revenue. That's up 59% since Q1 2021. So that's very, very impressive and a very critical point here. Now let's talk a bit with the partnership that they're having with Salesforce and Wix. Right now, these will serve as pilot programs, and both partnerships actually will focus on candidates from disability communities. So they are trying to help those that maybe find it hard to find a job in, let's say, the real world, let's call that. But again, this is just a pilot program. What will happen is they will get trained by one of those companies, Salesforce or Wix. They give you an example, Salesforce CRM administrator or a Wix web developer. Now I can see this actually growing into something much bigger, not just for Salesforce and Wix, but other companies as well. Something that Upwork has been doing as well, working with bigger companies. Fiverr has also been working with bigger companies. Sellers on Fiverr especially, you can see, you can actually read it in the letter for the shareholders. There's one seller called Georgia, I believe. She's now earning over $200 via Fiverr. One of her clients is Nike, Under Armour, so she's doing pretty well. Then we have a new product, a new subscription product that's called Seller Plus. This is something that will cost $29 per month. So what do you basically get? You get a success manager, you get faster payment clearances, priority access to growth programs, priority support, more analytics, etc. Why is this very good and super important? Because this means that Fiverr can make sellers stay on their platform. They can make sellers feel like, look, Fiverr is trying to make my business become bigger and bigger and better. You get a personal customer success person that will help you grow your business. And in the future, that success person can maybe upsell other features on the platform. That's a great way to keep your sellers on the platform and grow with them. Then we have subscriptions. We actually talked about that in the previous video. All of those videos will be in the top right corner. Now they say here that 20% of the subscription orders have a duration of 6 months. You can choose between 3 months or 6 months. It's great to see that already such a big number chose for the longer part. Now, if you're familiar with Chinese e-commerce websites such as AliExpress, for example, you know that you will probably find lots of coupons on that website. When you go to visit, you suddenly have a pop-up and you see, look, if you buy from this store, you'll get $1 or $2 off. And that's also something that now sellers on Fiverr can do with their subscribers. They can send them personalized coupons. That means that maybe in a not so busy period, suddenly a seller says, look, I don't have that much work right now. I can send out coupons to one of my subscribers. Maybe they have something to do, and why not? Now, last thing before I move into the funny part and the part that makes Fiverr super unique and into something regarding Airbnb. So we have here the promoted gigs. So after a little over a year, promoted gigs has reached quarterly ad revenue of $1 million. Now that might seem super small right now, but in the future, as this platform grows, as more and more people go on this platform, you might see more and more sellers actually use the promoted gigs one. Now, before I go into the guidance part and why they actually lowered this, they actually said something pretty interesting that might be interesting for the Airbnb bulls out there. So as the world reopens and demand for hiring and travel surges, we are seeing strength in categories such as resume writing and Airbnb listing. I found this very, very interesting, especially as an Airbnb shareholder. I'm very happy to hear that. Now, jumping real quick into the funny part, I want to show you a funny gig, something that surprised me and something that was mentioned in the Twitter space yesterday. So yes, this is a real gig that you can find on Fiverr. Someone here will write a custom erotica that fulfills all of your fantasies. The basic package costs $100, the standard one $200, and the premium one $300. You can see this is very serious. There are 12 orders in queue, and that person has already 217 orders fulfilled. And you can find many other meme gigs, let's say, on the platform. You can find people that can make funny noises. If you're familiar with Alex Jones, for example, you can ask someone to say whatever you want with the voice of Alex Jones, or maybe Donald Trump, or whatever. This is what makes Fiverr super unique. You can also find actually on YouTube so many creators use Fiverr to create content. Now, let's jump into the guidance and why the stock is actually down 24%. Sure, all of you, maybe most of you, might have skipped till this part of the video. So the main reason why they lowered guidance is because they want to be conservative. I'm pretty sure they're sandbagging it, because right now, yes, we are seeing more and more people taking a holiday, taking a vacation. As restrictions are lifted in Europe, in the United States, more people just don't want to look at their screen anymore because we have been stuck at home for a long time. So they are actually seeing that for their business, more people just go outside, take a break from their work. But what they're also seeing is what is happening on the other side of the planet. In Australia, for example, where it's currently winter time, and there nothing has changed. Growth is still continuing because it's winter time. Maybe not that many people go outside. And that's maybe something we can expect in the West, in Europe and the United States, and in other areas from the West that has a winter in December. We can expect maybe great numbers going into Q3 or maybe Q4. So in my opinion, they are sandbagging it, but they are doing this in a smart way. They lowered guidance, knowing their business is growing and doing well. So if they beat, they will beat big and they will be received as geniuses. I don't think they will miss. If growth is slowing down, they will probably meet their expectation. I've listened to the call and I love the management. I love the way they execute their plans. The business is growing. If somebody will come to me and comment, oh, but this is just a work from home stock, a COVID stock, you cannot be more wrong. And that will be it for this video. Hopefully it's not too long. Pretty sure it is. But let me know down in the comments below what you think about Fiverr or even Upwork. I like both companies. I worked with both companies. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about both of them. Do you hold them? Have you sold? What have you done? I've actually added to my Fiverr position yesterday. Full disclaimer, I own Fiverr shares. And that will be it for this video. If you liked it, consider leaving a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, maybe hit that subscribe button. And as always, guys, take care, stay safe, and see you all in the next video. Bye bye.